few weeks ago, Bret Tkacs invited me to be a guest on an episode of his podcast, Around the Wheel. Here are a few excerpts from that conversation with some videos of my travels around the world mixed into the conversation just for fun.
All right, Mark. I have to ask.
Sure.
What was the first, and Canada doesn't count. What was the first border you crossed? And did you have somebody with you, or, because you're a solo traveler, you do this by yourself. You're right. Not with somebody else, obviously. People who travel for very long periods of time almost are always solo. How did you get across that first border? Did you do it on your own? Did you have help?
I didn't know how to do it. The way that I learned how to do that is I went to Horizons Unlimited bulletin boards of the hub. I got a lot of information there.
Fantastic website.
Absolutely. There's so many people that are doing what you and I are doing. Like my family, when I said I'm going to ride around the world on a motorcycle, they're like, oh my God, that's insane. I'm like, well, there's probably 5,000 people doing it right now. There's people all over the world doing this from all different countries. It's not that complicated. And the great thing is people share. That's how I got across the border. The other thing that I did, my first border crossing on the bike was into Mexico. It's really easy. I'm from Arizona, so that's, it's pretty simple to get into Mexico. But getting into Guatemala and through Central America, you're getting into some dangerous places. There are fixers, there's some corruption, there are some tips to be paid to the officials getting through those countries. I'm at the border of Nicaragua and Costa Rica. I'm trying to get out of Nicaragua, and as usual, getting through customs and all the stuff in Nicaragua, you have to bribe everybody to get through. It was something I had to learn just by grit and understanding. The first time you go through a border, you figure out, okay, here's the system. I have to do these three things. Then you do it again, exiting. Then you do it again, entering the next country. And then you do it again. So over 50 countries now I've gone through. So that's entering and exiting borders. It's over 100 borders that I've crossed on the bike. It's almost the same every single time. So
it is. And I have found in Central America, Central America was still possibly the most challenging place I've been. Africa was unique in its own way, but Central America is so condensed, and there's so narrow of a border, and there's so many North Americans, Americans and Canadians going through that it's quite polluted as far as the money that's brought down, the overpayments that people have, and the expectation that everybody's going to use a fixer. And anybody that's listening, when you travel through borders that are complicated or where there's foreign language, these fixers are people who make their living helping foreigners get across the border. And in some places, it's really quite useful. There's places in Russia or in Africa where this is, and these people are relatively legitimate. They're just trying to make a living. Right. Central America, there are a few, but there are also people who really target Americans and take huge advantage of them.
Got my little sticker. It's getting weird a little bit right now. They want payment, of course. They said $80 for their services, and I said, hell no. It cost me $160 to get through the border and get all that stuff done. But I still have to pay these fixture guys. Gracias. $40. Yeah. Gracias.
But that's what a fixer is. It's somebody that tries to help you get across the border. And it's not, let's face it, I don't know about you, Mark, but I find that, especially in Central America, they prey on North Americans and our culture, where we value our money, we value our privacy, we value our time, we want to get through fast, we want to be treated like an American, and they scare people into paying fees that they shouldn't be paying. It's not the officials, it's the fixers that get you.
Yeah, it's the fixers. If you recall, back in Guatemala, when I went from Mexico, those guys told me that the permit was good all the way to Panama. Here, I'll refresh your memory.
Guatemala, Panama.
All of it?
It's international. Panama.
Okay. But it turns out, of course, that's not true. It was good to the end of Guatemala, so I'm still having to pay for permits at every single border crossing. And I have videos of me crossing all of the Central American borders. And I used fixers at all of those border crossings, I think, except maybe Nicaragua. I don't remember. But the videos, you can watch those. They're on my YouTube channel, on marketonabike.com. Right. You can see them. Yeah, and you can see my tolerance from what they're charging me runs out very quickly. So the first border, I think it's $40 or $60 or whatever it was that I was charged.
Right.
$40.
Right. And then you get to the next border and you realize that was way too much. You're like, no, I'm only going to pay this much. And then by the end, I'm bargaining to try to get through for $10 or whatever the cheapest rate I can.
This job is expensive.
You want $25?
$25.
Here's 5. 20.
Yeah. Plus my job.
All right.
My job. It's not for me.
It is for you.
No, it's not for me.
Oh, where's the receipt?
They say way more time. Give me 10 more.
That's it. All right.
When the other guys coming here, you put this information. I'm ready for you here.
You're gonna be famous as the guy that took my money. He took my money. This is Aaron. He wins the award for the least amount of bull getting me through a border patrol. So good job. You're fired. And we're done.
I often learn the most from other trainers, not because they give me information I don't know. Like you said, there's some great videos out there. There's some great books out there. I can talk to people. I can watch people. But to have somebody watch me, somebody with a trained eye, because what I found is many riders that I train think they're doing something and they're not. And
exactly.
I've done the same thing. In fact, and a tip for those that are listening, one of the ways I get around this, because not everybody has the ability to, to come and see a trainer like me or to get into a school, is I use a lot of video. They're so available now, even cell phones, or just having a friend hold it and video myself. And I do this. I'm not just telling other people to do it. I do this to myself because I'm the most critical coach I can think of when it comes to my riding. Because I have somebody else video me. And that's a lot of how some of the videos I started making came about, is I was just doing videos anyways and then critiquing how I was doing it and finding out I didn't always look the way I was supposed to look. I was telling other people to do it. I could coach them, but I wasn't doing it. So you've got a great point there.
Yeah, it's funny. I have some videos on YouTube of me riding, and specifically I have videos of me at a training in Lima, I think, of me doing my first real off-road cornering. It's painful to watch those videos now. I'm like, man, I am so out of position. Of course, this is why the bike is falling over. I'm just, I can hear my trainer yelling, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Look at me, look at me. Yeah. Look at me,
Because I'm looking at the wrong. I mean, there's so many different things, but you need that person. I did training at Country Tracks in South Africa. It was intense. I think it was a 4-day, all-day training. It was fantastic. We did these things that I thought, why am I doing this? I'll never use this in real life. One of them was to train for the vision. They had basically an 8-inch wide piece of wood, a log, like a railroad tie, but it was really long, maybe 20 or 30 feet. And it was about, I don't know, a foot off the ground, maybe a little bit less than that. And the deal is you had to ride up on this thing and then ride all the way across it and back down. If you don't look at the end of the log, you're going to go off. You're going to fall off. If you look down, you're going off. And so it was terrifying at first, but we had to do this over and over and over. And I thought, okay, that was fun, but I'm never going to use that. In Africa, I'm zipping along. The dirt roads, the way that they maintain those, they'll take tractors and they'll plow them just like a field. And so you have about 8 inches of flat ground and the rest is all tilled soil. And you don't know when it's coming. So I'm zipping along. I'm like, it's the same as the log. I have to watch and think, I'm going over there or I'm going to bite it in this dirt. And so, yeah, those exercises, they mean something. So do it. Riding with very experienced riders is fantastic because you can see how they ride, what they do, when they put on the gas, when they ease off. I rode with Ayleen Martínez. She is from Patagonia and she lives in Coyhaique. She rode from the farthest south point in the Americas all the way to the northernmost point of the Americas on her motorcycle solo. She was trained by a Dakar racer. She's an exceptionally good rider. I've seen a lot of motorcycle riders, and she's one of the most natural, amazing riders. And just watching, we rode through Patagonia together, and she noticed one day, she said, "You're dancing with your motorcycle." You know, when it all started to click, she's like, "It's like a dance." I'm like, "I've never thought of it that way," but it is. It's almost like tango when your body's in the right position, you're going around the corner, your vision is looking, everything works. You know, when you dance well, I've never danced well, but if you see a dancer who dances well, they just are fluid with the motions, and it feels effortless. And when you're connected with the motorcycle through that experience, that's sort of the same thing happens.
Over the years, I used to think, oh yeah, the bike is my dance partner.
Yeah.
And you know, it's me and the bike against, you know, the trail or the road. And I have changed my perception of that just slightly, because I used to think as the bike is my dance partner, and I realized I was short on my vision for this. It's the land that's your dance partner.
Right.
The bike is just your dance shoe. It should be part of you, and it should move with you. You should be looking to the land to figure out, well, if I ride up on that bank, how will the bike react? When I ride into that deep sand, what's going to happen? And you start using the land as your dance partner instead of something that you feel you have to conquer. I always tell people, smile while you ride, because attitude matters. And when you're riding through rock and sand and gritting your teeth and hollering and screaming and yelling, or even saying, "I'm going to conquer you," that's not positive. It doesn't help, you know?
Yeah, the mental, I'm going to do this, I'm going there, you'll go there. If you think, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to make this, you're not going to make it.
Shoot, there we go.
You know, the ride, maybe in the United States, you're going to do a BDR or something. You can plan X amount of miles per day, and this is where we're going to go, and this is where the gas is going to be. This is where we're going to sleep. Here's the hotel. Everything's on Expedia. It's all booked in advance, and it goes according to plan. Rarely is that the case in a different culture, because you don't want that. You won't get the experience of being fully immersed in a country if you only stay, specifically if you stay in the very touristy places. It's so much better to ride, find a place, talk to a local, go to a yurt, wherever you have to go. Say, hey, where should we sleep tonight? Where's the place? Is there a house that we can stay at? Can we camp in your backyard? Eat the local food. Order from a menu you can't read. Just say, hey, bring me whatever is the best thing you have. What's your favorite thing? I'm going to try that. Look for food that you've never eaten and just totally immerse in the culture. It's a much richer experience. Don't stay at the Ramada Inn or whatever the equivalent is, the Hilton, those places. Stay at places that you've never heard of, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience.